Hello guys, I'm Kushani Jaisurya. This video is based on unit number 5 Animal Form and Function, the section which explains osmoregulation and excretion. That will contain the context of page numbers 222 to 229 of the resource book of grade 12, and it is based on the National A-Level curriculum. I hope this video will come in handy and help you in your learning process. Osmoregulation, a process by which organisms control solute concentrations and water balance within the body, is called as osmoregulation. Simple unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium have contractile vacuoles to carry out excretion. But animals have developed different structures for osmoregulation. Chemical reactions taking place within the living body results in producing waste products which are often toxic. Therefore, they must be disposed in some way. Excretion, the removal of nitrogenous metabolite and other metabolic waste products from the body, is called as excretion. But defecation is not considered under excretion because it involves in the removal of undigested food from the gut. Defecation does not involve in the removal of nitrogenous metabolite or other metabolic waste products. Thereby, it is not considered under excretion. In many animals, excretory and osmoregulatory systems are linked structurally as well as functionally. Importance and need of osmoregulation and excretion. There are mainly two importances and needs. First one, to maintain a constant internal environment, and the second one is to get rid of toxic products produced during metabolism. To maintain a constant internal environment. For effective body functioning and survival, the relative concentrations of water and solutes should be within favorable limits. That means a constant internal environment is extra important for effective body functioning and survival. If uptake of water is excessive, the cell will swell and burst. If loss of water is high, the cells will shrink and die. Next point, to get rid of toxic products produced during metabolism. Protein and nucleic acids after metabolism produce ammonia, which is a weak base. Glucose undergo metabolism and produce carbon dioxide, which is a weak acid. Accumulation of such weak acids and weak bases will alter the acid-base balance in the internal environment. Relationship between metabolic substrates and excretory products. Carbohydrates undergo aerobic respiration and produce carbon dioxide. Through anaerobic respiration, produce lactic acid. Fats undergo aerobic metabolism and produce carbon dioxide and water. Proteins undergo metabolism to produce ammonia. Ammonia might get further converted to urea or uric acid depending on habitat and the availability of enzymes. The excretory products of substrates will vary depending on the chemical structure and composition, availability of enzymes, oxygen availability, and habitat. Relationship between the nitrogenous excretory products and living environment. There are mainly three nitrogenous excretory products: ammonia, uric acid, and urea. Ammonia. Highly toxic. A large volume of water is needed to excrete ammonia, and energy cost for production of ammonia is comparatively low. As they require a large volume of water to excrete, examples of organisms that excrete ammonia are found in aquatic habitats. Examples: bony fishes, aquatic amphibians. Urea. This is less toxic. Energy cost for production is higher than that of ammonia. Examples of organisms that excrete urea are sharks, terrestrial animals, adult amphibians. Uric acid. This is relatively non-toxic. It is excreted semi-solid with trace amount of water. It is insoluble in water, requires more energy than urea production, and examples of organisms that excrete uric acid are birds, many reptiles, land snails, and insects. The diversity of excretory structures of animals. Body surface. The cells are in direct contact with the environment. Therefore, they are able to excrete via diffusion, as shown in the picture. Examples are cnidarians. Next, flame cells. They are specialized excretory cells connected to a network of tubule which opens to the outside of the animal. Example: flatworms. Nephridia. Multicellular tubular structures. One end is open to the coelom and the other end is open to the outside, as shown in the picture. Examples: annelids. Malpighian tubules. They are extensive blind end tubules immersed in the hemolymph and opens to the digestive tract. Examples: insects and other terrestrial arthropods. Green glands or antennal glands. Two large glands found ventrally in the head and anterior to the esophagus. Examples: crustaceans. Sweat glands. They are coiled tubular glands situated in the dermis and connected to a sweat duct which opens as a pore on the skin surface. Example: human skin. Salt glands. They are paired glands found near the eyes to excrete excess salts. They are found in marine birds, marine reptiles. Kidney. The major excretory and osmoregulatory organs of all vertebrates. Human urinary system. Kidneys. A pair of kidneys produce urine to excrete waste products while maintaining osmotic balance and acid-base balance. Ureters. The pair of ureters receive urine from the kidneys and send it to the bladder. Urinary bladder. Temporary storage of urine. Urethra provide the passage through which urine stored in the bladder leaves the body. Kidneys. First we are talking about the location of kidneys. Kidneys are found posterior of the abdominal wall, one on the either sides of the vertebral column, behind the peritoneum and below the diaphragm. The right kidney is slightly lower than the left. Blood supply to kidneys. Kidneys receive blood from aorta via the renal arteries, and renal veins return blood to the inferior vena cava. The gross structure of kidneys. Kidney is bean-shaped, held in position by a mass of fat, surrounded by a fibrous connective tissue. In the longitudinal section of a kidney, there are three tissue layers. Outer fibrous capsule, middle renal cortex. It has a granulated appearance due to the presence of glomeruli. Then inner renal medulla. It is composed of renal pyramids that has a striated appearance, and apices of pyramids project into the renal pelvis through renal papillae. Renal pelvis leads to the ureter. Renal artery and renal vein pass via the pelvis. Both renal cortex and renal medulla are supplied with blood vessels, and they are tightly packed with excretory tubules. Parts of a kidney. The inner layer after the outer fibrous capsule is the renal cortex. Inner to renal cortex, it is renal medulla. Renal pelvis. Renal artery that brings oxygenated blood to the kidney. Renal vein which carry deoxygenated blood away from the kidney, and the ureter. Structure of nephron. Structural and functional unit of the kidney is nephron. There are over millions of nephrons in each kidney. There are two types of nephrons, cortical nephrons and juxtamedullary nephron. Cortical nephrons reach a short distance to the medulla, and cortical nephrons are found in majority. Juxtamedullary nephrons extend deep into the medulla. Parts of a nephron. Glomerulus, it is a ball of capillaries, and the capsule surrounding the glomerulus is the Bowman's capsule. Blood carrying into the glomerulus is done by the efferent arteriole, and the efferent arteriole carry blood away from the glomerulus. Proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, collecting duct, and the blood capillaries that surround the distal and proximal convoluted tubules are peritubular capillaries, and the blood capillaries that surround the loop of Henle is called as vasa recta. Proximal convoluted tubule. It is longer and wider than the distal convoluted tubule. It is lined by simple epithelium, which are specialized for selective reabsorption of substances like nutrients, water, and ions from the glomerular filtrate. Loop of Henle. It is a U-shaped part lined by simple epithelium. There are two sections in this part of the nephron, descending limb and the ascending limb. Descending limb is specialized for water reabsorption as it allows free water movement. The ascending limb is impermeable to water because its lining is impermeable to water. Distal convoluted tubule. It is lined by simple epithelium, which are specialized for selective reabsorption of specific ions and water, and it leads to the collecting duct. So the video ends here. Don't forget to subscribe our channel if you haven't done it yet. Click on the bell icon to get notifications regarding our newly posted videos. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for your kind cooperation. I hope this video will be helpful.